A fatal shooting involving a United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent in Minneapolis has become one of the most controversial and emotionally charged incidents in America's ongoing immigration crackdown after a 37-year-old U.S. citizen, Renee Nicole Good, was shot dead during a federal enforcement operation in early January 2026, igniting protests, political confrontation, and renewed scrutiny of the use of lethal force by federal agents. The incident occurred in South Minneapolis during an early morning ICE operation linked to a nationwide immigration surge ordered by the Trump administration, which has deployed federal agents to multiple cities as part of what officials describe as an aggressive effort to combat illegal immigration and related crimes. According to the Department of Homeland Security, ICE agents were attempting to carry out arrest when they encountered Good in her vehicle, and federal officials later claimed that the agent involved fired his weapon in self-defense after the woman allegedly attempted to use her car as a weapon against officers. This official explanation was immediately challenged by local authorities, eyewitnesses, and video footage that surfaced online, showing a very different sequence of events. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey publicly rejected the federal account, stating that the footage appeared to show Good's vehicle moving slowly away from agents rather than accelerating toward them, and accused the ICE agent of acting recklessly and unnecessarily using deadly force. The mayor demanded that ICE agents leave the city, saying the federal presence had become a danger to public safety rather than a means of protection. The shooting shocked the local community, especially after it was confirmed that Renee Nicole Good was a U.S. citizen with no known involvement in immigration violations, a fact that intensified public anger and undermined the administration's narrative that the operation was targeting dangerous criminals. Friends and family described Good as a caring and compassionate person, deeply connected to her community, and her death quickly became a rallying point for activists who argue that immigration enforcement in the United States has become increasingly militarized and detached from accountability. Within hours of the shooting, protests erupted across Minneapolis, with demonstrators chanting against ICE, carrying signs demanding justice, and drawing parallels between this killing and past high-profile cases of police violence in the city, including the killing of George Floyd just a few years earlier. As tensions escalated, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz criticized the federal government's handling of the operation and expressed concern about the lack of transparency surrounding the shooting, while state officials complained that federal authorities were limiting access to evidence and information needed for an independent investigation. Nationally, the incident has fueled a broader debate over the Trump administration's immigration strategy, which has relied heavily on large-scale enforcement actions, mass deportations, and the expanded role of ICE in cities that have openly resisted federal immigration policies. Supporters of the administration argue that tough enforcement is necessary to uphold the rule of law and deter crime, while critics counter that such operations create fear, escalate violence, and place innocent lives at risk. The Minneapolis shooting has also raised serious legal and constitutional questions about the accountability of federal agents, as ICE officers operate under federal authority that can complicate oversight by state and local governments. Civil rights organizations have called for a full, independent investigation, warning that without transparency and consequences, public trust in law enforcement and federal institutions will continue to erode. The political fallout has been equally intense, with Democratic leaders accusing the administration of prioritizing optics and force over human life, while federal officials insist the agent acted according to training in a rapidly unfolding and dangerous situation. As vigils, protests, and calls for justice continue to spread beyond Minneapolis to other cities, the killing of Renee Nicole Good has become a powerful symbol of the deep divisions in America over immigration, policing, and federal power, highlighting how policies designed to enforce borders can have deadly consequences far from them, and forcing the nation to confront uncomfortable questions about whose lives are protected, whose voices are heard, and how far the government is willing to go in the name of enforcement.